I'm typically cycling around the world on a recumbent trike, but it's Chinese New Year, and it's time for me to come home and see my daughter in Ningbo, China. I have done Chinese New Year for the last 10 years. Over that, I moved to China in 2009, and from that moment on, Chinese New Year has had a significance for me in China. It's full of parties, celebration, all sorts of food, community, family, and alcohol and craziness. But today, it's quite different. Today, we have to deal with the coronavirus, and China's personality has changed quite a bit. I arrived back to Ningbo yesterday on a flight to China from Kuala Lumpur, which is very strange because everybody else was trying to get the hell out of China at this point in time if they have the opportunity and the means, because life here is certainly not like life is typically during the Chinese New Year holiday. I thought I'd make this video and kind of tell you a few things that I've been learning over the past couple of days as this virus starts to proliferate through China. My wife and daughter are Chinese. Well, my daughter's half Chinese. By connection to them and my extended family here, it's quite interesting how people are dealing with a potential pandemic coming quite close to their town. Location-wise, I am in a city called Ningbo, a small city. There's only like 7.5 million people here. You probably don't even know about it. But yeah, it's a fairly packed city on the coast near Hangzhou, and also near Hubei province. Hubei province is probably about 500 kilometers away from here. Hubei province is home to Wuhan. Wuhan is the ignition point for this coronavirus. It's where it really got started. The patient zero is from here. Market zero is from here. Apparently it came from a meat market, which can be a fairly dirty place, a Chinese meat market where potential pathogens could be born. A lot of open meat, open birds, live animals, dead animals, fish, vegetables, all kind of mixing together in a cacophony of marketable goods that people are buying and taking back to their villages and whatnot. If this coronavirus was to have come maybe 2 months earlier, the story would be a little bit different, maybe 3 or 4 months earlier, because we sort of are in a holiday season right now in China where people are moving around. But ordinarily, they could probably have contained this pretty well. The problem is that during Chinese New Year in particular, which is coming up in a couple of days, the first day of it, people are shuffling around. They're getting days off before the holiday to go home, visit their family, and be with their family during the holiday. Migrant workers are going all manner of places, basically spreading all over the place. So this is probably the worst time to have something like this kind of emerge. So everybody here is extremely paranoid. Paranoia is the word of the day. Even now I'm driving on this road and it's fairly empty. I'm told, this is my first ride out, I was told that once I leave this car, masks go on, and the masks are high quality, and yes, the masks are running out. Like if you want to get a mask from a store, I don't know if there will be, because everybody has bought up every available face mask to protect themselves from transmitting a potential virus or contracting a potential virus. The virus itself, the coronavirus, is an aggressive form of the flu. It's basically flu-like symptoms. You don't realize you have it. It remains dormant for about 2 weeks, 10 days to 14 days before you even exhibit symptoms, and you can be transmitting the disease before that. That's why one of the reasons why it's so dangerous. You could actually be a potential transmitter of this disease and not even know it, and not even feel bad until it hits you. As a matter of fact, the medical director, one of the high-ups, went to Hubei province and covered up his face, and he went into the hospital. He was inspecting the situation, and he contracted it. And the only way that he could have thought he contracted it is that potentially it got in his eye as he was walking down the hall because he was wearing some high quality masks. And he didn't realize that he was having it until he started exhibiting the symptoms, and that was a week or two after he had left Hubei. So a lot of this situation, we won't even realize how bad it is until weeks and weeks later, until everybody that has contracted it, didn't know it, ends up exhibiting these symptoms. That's another reason why it's so dangerous. I arrived here with a mask, and according to the instructions given to me by Annie, I had to wear the mask and my clothes. When I got to the house from the airport, I had to disrobe, jump into the shower. All of my clothes that I wore had to be placed somewhere else because they were worried that an airport is a particularly nasty place where people from all over are giving and getting potential bacteria. The government here is monitoring everybody coming in and out of Wuhan and Hubei province in general. As a matter of fact, yesterday the development is that they shut down Wuhan completely, which is amazing. The capability of the Chinese government to do these kind of things is pretty amazing. They shut down the entire area, in and out, all cars, trains, planes, everything is now, well, the planes are totally shut down. I don't know if in and out is completely shut down. I'm sure if you have some sort of special certificate, you might be able to get in and out, but it's on lockdown. They shut down the whole province, though. I mean, Hubei province is now shut down. And if you can think about a city with millions and millions of people unable to get home for the holidays during Chinese New Year, it's an incredible feat because everybody wants to get out and get and see their relatives. People from outside want to get in to see their relatives, but now there's totally shut down. Whether you're sick or not, you're stuck in Hubei province, which is pretty. I don't know if you guys understand. It would be like cutting off New York City from the rest of the world, you know, a population such as New York City. But a province is huge. Province is almost like, it's the size of a state in America, if not bigger. Very, very, very scary and crazy. We got home. I got home yesterday from the airport, and I looked in the refrigerator, and there was nothing that I could eat. I'm on a special keto diet. And so I told Annie, I says, I need to get out and get some food. And she says, well, we're not going out. As a matter of fact, her nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters, they have stayed in their house on voluntary quarantine for the past few days. They have put themselves away from anybody else, any opportunity to contract anything, and they haven't even left their house, which is pretty incredible. I have been cycling around the world, voyaging to different places every single day, and I came back here, and all of a sudden I'm on house arrest, and everybody's on house arrest. Everybody is taking this very, very, very seriously. So I told them that I needed to go out and at least go shopping for some of the food that I can eat, and so I'm headed to a foreign high-end food market where I can get some food, and I figured while I was driving there I could talk about what's going on here and what the vibe is. I'm looking out, all I can see are people with masks. I imagine it's pretty crazy to be inside Wuhan or Hubei province right now. The paranoia is probably running high. The government is doing some amazing things, though. If you guys remember SARS, it was a virus that was prolific, I don't know how many years ago, quite a few years ago. But they built a SARS clinic, a SARS hospital. They built this hospital in 9 days. An entire hospital, from dirt to hospital in 9 days. This was designed specifically to treat SARS patients. They're doing the same thing in Hubei. Annie sent me some video here. You can see it. That's they're actually building a hospital. They're going to finish the hospital in 6 days. From nothing to hospital. They're going to staff it with doctors, professional doctors from all over China. They're flying doctors in that are risking their own health in order to treat the people in the hospital. The virus is particularly ravaging on the elderly and aged people. So they're bringing in healthy young doctors that can treat people and hopefully not contract the disease themselves. And if they do, they can deal with it as a healthy physical being, as opposed to being somebody in a weakened state. Like I said, it's sort of like flu-like symptoms, only it's untreatable right now, and it attacks the liver, and it attacks your organs, and it can really ravage you if you're not in top form. Now, it's Chinese New Year, and if you have never been here during Chinese New Year is a time for celebration. There is not a dinner that goes by during Chinese New Year that isn't spent outside in some really, really busy restaurant. Hundreds of people cooking and serving and dealing with you as a patron of the establishment. There's events going on, there's parties, there's gatherings of people all over the place. And so to have such a disease come out at this particular time is crazy. My Chinese family is extremely interested in having these parties and doing these sorts of things. Every time I come home, it's a battle for me just to not gain 100 pounds. But this year is very interesting. Everybody's talking about the amount of closures, the amount of restaurants and places that are going to be closed, that are going to probably go out of business because Chinese New Year is an extremely profitable time for these places. They probably depend on Chinese New Year to bring in the bulk of their yearly income. Just like in America, it's Christmas time is when, purveyors of gifts and food and things depend on Christmas. Could you imagine having something happen around Christmas time, if Christmas is a big holiday where you are, that is going to restrict any sort of commerce or travel? I'm very curious to see how it develops. These are all predictions I'm having, but I'm guessing that it's going to have a huge impact on the economy, but something that's sort of unavoidable. You cannot avoid it because they're trying to protect the masses. I think it's a good thing what China is doing right now, and hopefully they're able to contain this virus. Yeah, happy Chinese New Year. Our family, my Chinese family, has rescheduled all gatherings. It's supposedly nothing going on outside. Everything is going to be contained in our respective quarantine zone houses. And even me going out and getting these items from Olay is a risk that I wanted to take, because I really want to be able to have the food that I need to eat during the time that I'm going to be here with family. It's quite interesting, and I wanted to share with you some of the insights I've gathered the other day, just kind of what's going on inside China during this coronavirus Chinese New Year combination. It's incredible. Anyways, if you want to follow my journey, normally I'm not here. I'm normally on the road cycling around the world. Currently, my trike is in Kuala Lumpur. I left it there when I flew here to China yesterday, coming into the infected zone, so to speak. But fingers crossed, I'll be fine. Everybody in my family will be fine. We'll take this very, very methodically and make sure that we're focused on the attention to our health and make sure that everybody's good. Anyways, I thought you guys might be interested in hearing what it was like living in China near Udong province, and hear some of the updates, as I was sort of surprised when my Chinese family started telling me about what's going on here and the impact it's having on their Chinese New Year celebration.